Hi, I'm Shaul. A viewer of this channel recently raised the concern of becoming a 3D pop snob. Uh, Now, I would like to reassure this viewer that, in my opinion, such a thing does not exist. There are two reasons for that. First, the purpose or the very idea behind photography is it is a mean of true to life visual representation of reality. A true to life rendition of the scene is a very central concept, maybe to photography in general. If you like shooting living things or even any three-dimensional scene, a correct representation of the volume, weight and depth created by a dimensional lens is almost a must. It really adds to the true perception of the scene. It's not some exclusive, obscure requirement that is relevant only in very special occasions. It's always required to my mind. So there is no snobbery around this. Second, when we talk about snobbery, we usually refer to very exclusive, expensive things. But poppy lenses are not expensive. This is beauty about it. Because of the simpler design and simpler materials that are readily available, poppy optics can be quite affordable, and they usually are. It's only those very sharp, very clinical modern lenses that require a complex optical formula because of the need to correct for many types of aberrations and the use of different types of low dispersion glass, which is usually more difficult to work with. So it causes the manufacturing costs to be higher. For example, these are two modern Nikon primes, the 40mm f2 and the 35mm f1.4. They are both on the more affordable side of the Nikon lineup. And they're both simple and nice with a rather poppy rendition. The 35mm f1.4 is even cheaper than its clinical cousin, the 35mm f1.8. Although this one has a faster maximum aperture, which would usually make it more expensive, but its design is simpler. It uses more available, easier to work with materials, and this is why it can be a little bit more affordable. By the way, I don't like the word snob very much because it's too derogatory. I would rather use foreign expression like connoisseur or Feinschmecker, which have a scent of self-irony, which is more appropriate in the sense of camera gear. That brings me to another viewer of this channel named Edgar, who asked me to recommend a system that would allow him to obtain some better rendition than the one he currently owns. So that made me think a little bit of what's available on the market. And Edgar currently owns a Panasonic S1 camera with two lenses, wide angle 16 to 35 millimeter zoom and 50 millimeter f1.4 lens, both made by Panasonic and both quite flat clinical lenses. Which is typical of the market at the current stage. I have looked at Edgar's work, and I must say that I really like it. A lot of it is photographs of people in their environment, and those photos are really colorful and rich and lovely, and I can see why a better rendition that allows the perception of depth would make those images even better. Edgar's requirements are as follows. First of all, he requires great image quality. And since he already uses a full-frame camera with a 24 megapixel sensor, the Panasonic S1, I can see what he means. The second demand is a system that allows for some true-to-life rendition of the scene. And the third demand is weather sealing. Now, I will look at each of the systems currently on the market and try to see if there is anything that can fit those requirements. It is important that I am not referring to video capabilities, as I understand that the main applications Edgar is interested in are related to stills photography. As to video, I think there are better experts than I am. Not saying that I'm an expert in stills gear, but at least I do have some experience and knowledge that might help. Let's start with Fujifilm's X system, or the APS-C system. Now, Fuji has started using rather high resolution sensors. I think 40 megapixels for an APS-C sensor is maybe a little bit too much. Not because of noise or other disadvantages of very high resolution sensors and a small pixel pitch, but because in order to resolve this type of pixel pitch, which is about 3 microns, you need a very sharp lens. And all of the new lenses made by Fuji for this system are very flat and clinical. Now, there are some lenses that are older, that were made for, was it 16 megapixels, I think, where the system just started, like the classic 35mm f1.4. But those lenses are generally not weather sealed, and they suffer from some slower autofocusing. So I'm not sure you can get poppy lenses that are weather sealed too in this system. Perhaps I'm wrong. So in the near future, Fujifilm has to work on its autofocus, which, like the camera Edgar uses now, the Panasonic S1, is not quite leading the market at the moment. So I'm not sure Fujifilm is going to focus on manufacturing or introducing nice rendering lenses in the near future. In fact, Fuji is in the process of replacing some of its older lenses with newer versions that are even flatter and more clinical. So next is Canon's RF system, the new mirrorless system. Now, Canon has had quite a good autofocus, and it is known for having a nice approach to color. It's always been like that. However, Canon's lenses are either very fast and very large and expensive, or very simple, basic lenses that are not really high quality. Anyway, all of Canon's lineup is made of flat lenses with an emphasis on high sharpness and low aberrations. So I don't think Canon has any poppy lenses in its current lineup. Of course, you can mount all the EF glass on Canon cameras, which would work in a quite native manner, considering the seamless operation of aperture, image stabilization, autofocus. But working with those lenses on a mirrorless camera would cost you the weather sealing. As far as I know, the adapters available now do not support weatherproofing. Even if the cameras and the lenses are weather sealed. I would only recommend Canon if you are willing to use all the EF primes on your camera. You should also really watch Camera Conspiracies, which is a video-related channel, but Casey, the presenter of that channel, has a very good experience with all the Canon primes. Next is Sony, which is the leading manufacturer in the market these days. And for a good reason. Sony allows an open mount, so a lot of third-party manufacturers are invited to produce lenses for its system. Now, Sony has some good poppy lenses, however they are a little bit older. Lenses like the Sony Zeiss 55mm f1.8 or the 35mm f2.8 or Zeiss Batis lenses that used to be made for this system are quite nice and poppy. Even if they do not support the modern, very fast autofocusing that Sony is famous for stills applications that do not require very fast-moving subject. They are perfectly adequate. So you do have some options in the Sony ecosystem. All those nice Zeiss lenses made for the Sony system are weatherproof to some extent. So that's a nice thing. Also older lenses, so I assume you can get them second-hand for a lower price than buying them new, which could save you some money. Your problem is that there are no poppy zooms, not only in the Sony system, but in all the mirrorless systems. So you will have to resort to prime lenses if you want poppy rendition. Next is Nikon's Z system. Now, the Z system was considered inferior to Sony's and Canon's systems, mainly because they had some issues with autofocus. But in recent years, the autofocus disadvantage has been overcome, and nowadays Nikon's cameras are working quite well. For example, the camera filming me now is the ZF. And autofocus is quite good. You don't really need to think about it, especially not in stills shooting. You just turn it on and it will trace your subject and track it. So it's not a problem anymore. Now, Nikon, unlike other manufacturers, offers a new and still developing line of poppy lenses, which is the f1.4 line. Currently, there are only two such lenses on the market, 50mm f1.4 and the 35mm f1.4, which is filming me right now. And they both have a good poppy rendition. Although there is no lens roadmap published by Nikon, it is safe to assume, I think, that there will be more primes from this line of good poppy lenses appearing on the market in the near future. However, most of Nikon's lenses are just as flat and clinical as the lenses in every other system. So your options are quite limited currently. In addition to those two primes, Nikon also makes the 28mm f2.8 and the 40mm f2, which are not weather sealed, so maybe they will not be suitable for your needs. And another lens is the 26mm f2.8, which is sealed and renders quite nicely. Another advantage of Nikon compared to all the other mirrorless systems is the short flange distance, which allows adapting lenses made for other mount on the Nikon system. Although by using adapters you lose weather sealing. So I think that Nikon is quite a viable option for you. But please remember that I'm maybe a little bit biased, because I do use Nikon as my main system. So please take it into account. Edgar also considers the medium format systems, especially Fuji's GFX mount. The cost of a medium format system is a restrictive factor here, because even Fujifilm's older cameras are quite expensive, and the lenses are quite expensive too, so it might be a prohibitive proposition. That excludes lenses like the Fuji's 55mm f3.5, which is a small, rather nice and poppy lens, but this lens is not very fast, so I think that images made by such a system would not look very different compared to what is filming me right now, the Nikon ZF with a 35mm f1.4. Most of Fuji's lenses are quite flat, though, even for the GFX system, because they have to resolve 100 megapixels, which gives you quite a small pixel pitch of about 4 microns, which is quite comparable to a full frame sensor with 60 megapixels. Hasselblad's system, the X1D or X2D, is a better option than Fuji's GFX system, but it's also a lot more expensive. At least the prime lenses and zoom lenses too, made for this system, strike a good balance between resolving power and rendition, and they do maximize the image quality. If we take the pop into account, that may be less sharp than equivalent Fuji lenses, but in my opinion, they have a better rendition in general. Now, of course, Hasselblad's system is very expensive. It's really not very affordable, and there are no affordable lenses in its lineup either. I would like to suggest another approach, though. If indeed the video is not that important to Edgar, why not go back to a DSLR system? Good weather-sealed DSLR cameras can be had rather cheaply nowadays, especially second-hand. And The different DSLR systems developed over time through a slow process of evolution, and they were perfected. So there are three valid options, I think. First one is Pentax, which did introduce some full-frame DSLR cameras, and they are known for their very high standard of weather sealing. Pentax also has some nice poppy lenses, especially the primes of the limited series that are weather sealed too, and I think they make a very viable system together. Now, the lenses for the Pentax system are quite expensive. Pentax never moved into mirrorless, so reflex system is still current, and this makes all its lenses quite expensive relative to other DSLR systems. The second one is Canon. Canon always had a disadvantage of lower dynamic range compared to other equivalent systems. I think that a camera like the Canon 6D Mark I is an excellent option, especially coupled with a nice poppy prime from the first generation, such as the 24mm f1.4 or the 50mm f1.2. Those primes have a nice organic rendition, and although they have some problems with chromatic aberration, etc., they do have a deep portrayal of the scene. So I think it's quite a good option, weather sealed to some extent too. Nikon is about the same as Canon. If you use a camera like the D700 with some older AFD series primes, it should not cost you more than about €1,000 to put your hand on a high quality system with very good rendition, high dimensionality, and really high quality imaging. Of course, those AFD lenses were made in the film era, so they are, while being very affordable, they are not weather sealing. The D700 is an older camera with low resolution of 12 megapixels. Although that camera has a huge pixel pitch of about 8.5 microns, It's a lower dynamic range sensor. The next generation of full-frame DSLR made by Nikon is perhaps more equivalent to modern cameras in this sense. So I would recommend a camera like the Nikon D4. The D4 used to be the high-end, top-of-the-line camera for Nikon about a decade ago, and it is very good in low light and has a very fast and efficient autofocus system. But it's highly weather sealed, and it's a professional camera. It's also one of the highest dynamic range cameras ever produced, with its 16 megapixels. Coupled with one of Nikon's G or E series primes, it really makes lovely images which are poppy and deep. And now a Nikon D4 would cost around €1,000 or so, and a nice 35mm f1.4 prime made by Nikon would be around 600 to 700 euros. So the whole system is quite affordable compared to the typically $2,000 to $2,500 you have to shell for a modern mirrorless body. A more modern version is a camera like this, the Nikon D780, which is a 24 megapixel full frame body, and it combines some fast autofocus in live view, comparable to a mirrorless camera, which enables quite an efficient experience even when shooting video. Now the D700 is currently sold new for around 15 or 1600 euros. So it's still cheaper than a new modern mirrorless body, and it's at least as capable. Its autofocus is fast, it's fully weather sealed, and I think it's a viable option. The lens mounted on it is one of the best lenses I own. It's the Nikon 28mm f1.4 E, and it is truly poppy, and it's very suitable for photographing people. The system shooting me now is this Nikon D780 with 24mm f1.4 E, and I don't know if you can appreciate it, but the rendition of this lens is quite impressive. It's a poppy lens with a good portrayal of depth in three-dimensional scenes, and this lens was really made for shooting people in complex layered scenes. Now the autofocus during video is of course very well controlled on such a modern camera, and the whole system is quite affordable compared to the newer mirrorless systems. So I think, Edgar, you could enjoy an older DSLR system, which would answer all your requirements for a slightly more affordable cost. Now you can use such a system only for times when you do need this poppy portrayal, but I suspect it might become your main system after a very short while. So I hope that helped. And everyone, thank you for watching, and see you again soon.